what do you know? The Big Daddy G Show. The Big Daddy G Show. Today we're going to do a show about something that mainly happens to people that are at war or in wars. It's called PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder is what it's called. And we're going to try to enlighten you. Why are we doing a show about PTSD? A few weeks ago, I saw a business card here at the station, and the business card belonged to this guy, and I kept wanting to call him and ask him if he would be on our show. And so we had gone ahead and we had scheduled it for today or tonight, and he ended up having some medical problems, and he wasn't able to make it. So we scrambled and we scrambled and we scrambled today, and poor Tyrone, I believe he lost about, 40, 50 hairs on his head from stressing, but he seems to be doing okay now. So again, today's show is going to be about PTSD, which a lot of this happens to people that are in the military that are, fighting for this country. And we wanted to address it because a lot of people think, they're just not tough enough. They're just, dude, when you haven't been through something, you can't really judge someone when you don't know what you're talking about. So today we're going to try to shed some light. I found a couple of videos that I wanted to show you. My oldest brother, Jesse, he passed away a few years ago. I believe that he had PTSD, but he just didn't know. And he saw a lot of stuff that, we don't normally see. So I wanted to kind of share with you guys so that, we normally do comedy, happy-go-lucky stuff. And tonight we're going to do something just a little bit different. We're going to try to educate you a little bit for those of you that don't know anything about PTSD. The disorder, it's described as this: a disorder characterized by failure to recover after experiencing or witnessing a terrifying event. So it doesn't necessarily have to be about war. Today's show, we're doing in honor of our military, all the branches. We're doing this for everyone, not just the Army or the Navy or the Air Force or the Marines or the Coast Guard. We're doing it for everyone, so that maybe you can try to understand a little more. I did a film a while back with a guest that we had last week, I believe, and his name is Yaki, and he did a film that got got screened at Cannes, and I was in that film, and I just didn't know, I'm an actor, I'm not a rocket scientist or anything. I honestly did not know at that time anything about what we were doing. All I knew is that I had a part in a film and I was playing this role of a terrorist. And so it was really, really eye-opening for me after I saw that particular film. After it was all done, I was able to see it. And so I want to share with you a little bit about what our men and women in the military, and not just military, but, it can be also something from a tragic accident. It can be just about anything that causes people to to stress, and a lot of people think, well, you're in the military, you're supposed to be strong, hard as rocks, and not a, well, that's all fine and dandy, but we're losing, I believe they're saying 22 soldiers a day are committing suicide due to this, due to war. Do I agree with war? No, I do not. Do I agree with aggression? No, I do not. I don't see how, why we can't just sit down like human beings and work things out, instead of, I don't know, if we spent so much time, or if we spent as much time hating each other, if we spent that much time loving each other, imagine what an awesome world this would be. Just think about that for a second. Let that sink in. If we loved each other as much as we hate, it'd be a whole different world. It'd run a lot smoother, I'll tell you that. We're going to show you a couple of clips. The first one is about a man that talks about his PTSD, and his name is it's a soldier, and his name is Blanco, and from what I understand, he's from El Paso, and he tries to share with us the things that he went through and the things that he's going through on a daily basis, so that you can try to understand, and I can try to understand what these guys are going through, and these guys and girls, not just guys, but and it's not just the military people that are dealing with this. But dude, if we lose one vet a day to suicide because of PTSD, then we lost one too many. So we, as a human race, need to join together, and we need to understand that violence is not where it's at. And so anyway, okay. So we're going to go to this clip probably in the next 30 seconds. So please sit back, relax, and if you don't know anything about this, we're going to educate you. And so just sit back, relax, and just learn a little bit. This is not really a funny subject at all, and but I felt that it was a subject that we needed to share with you, because a lot of people don't know what it is. A lot of people don't know what these guys are going through. So watch this first clip, and then we'll talk a little more. Tyrone, can you roll that clip, please?
Okay, I don't want to go in detail about it. I went through some pretty heavy combat in Afghanistan. Yeah, I felt a sense of guilt and, well, pretty much just like guilt after I got back from it. Some guys, the good guys didn't, like most of the good friends, like didn't make it home. So I didn't, the way I processed those feelings were, I didn't notice, but I would just go out and, like, I started drinking a lot, being angry all the time. And I just didn't do anything about it. I didn't think it was an issue, because most of us just dealt with it. Like, everybody else in my unit was dealing with it the same. So I didn't have any, like, that's just how I dealt with things. And how I dealt with things, just drinking and just feeling really angry and starting fights with people just for no reason. I didn't want anybody around me except the guys that I was with. And then when I got married, I started realizing that I had other issues, like sleeping. I wasn't sleeping good. I kept waking up at night, and my wife would try to talk to me, and I just wouldn't want to talk to her. And we started having like issues So I think I realized a lot of things after I got married. I realized how messed up things have been with me, and yeah, that night I'll always remember. The night that I guess was just a breaking point for me. That I decided to, like, hey, there's something really bad, like, wrong going on with me. It was a night I just got really, just like my way of dealing or coping was just not saying anything to anybody. It was just drinking. And I realized that just being here in El Paso, just the desert and everything, it just kept reminding me a lot of things. And not just that, we went to Vegas, so I just kept thinking about the mountains. It's just desert, like arid, So there was a whole time I was supposed to be having a good time, and I just didn't. I was just feeling comfortable around a lot of people. So one night at a hotel, I just was drunk and angry. Then I started watching war movies. Like, that's the way I used to dig into stuff. Just go start watching war movies. Like, then I started watching a really bad war movie, and it reminded me of just, I got really freaked out. I just had this feeling on my chest that it's just like before you get in a fight, like that feeling that everything tightens up, and I felt that and it wouldn't go away. So I tried to drink it off. Maybe then I'll fall asleep or something, and it just didn't help. It didn't help, so I just went into I just looked at myself in the bathroom, and I was just pale, and I don't know, I felt really scared, like really bad, and I couldn't get rid of that feeling inside my chest. So I did probably it could have been worse. Thank God it wasn't, but so I just had a beer in my hand, chugged it, broke the bottle on the sink, and I started just being really angry at myself. I felt a lot of guilt and anger, and that feeling wouldn't go away, so I just like slashed my chest like really bad. Not multiple times at first, like first time, and then I just kept going and trying to get rid of it, and then I guess I just felt more concentrated on the pain that I was from the cut than anything else. So I was thinking about ending it right there, but I don't know. I guess if I wasn't in my right senses, if I would have been more, or if I would have had the means, I probably would have taken my own life. Yeah. So I did that, and next morning I woke up and my wife was freaking out, like trying to patch me back together. And then that morning I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, what? Like, I've always been pretty good. I've been a good soldier. Like, I think anybody that knows me, they know I'm squared away and how much I try to be a good soldier. But after that, I just realized that I need help. Like, I need to talk to somebody. So I got back to the unit, and I would be embarrassed of my chest thing. I was doing PT, I would do push-ups, and I would just have like blood, and I was trying to hide it from my Joes and from my fellow soldiers. I don't want them to think I was just like awkward. I don't want to have any. I don't want to have any. How do you say it? I didn't want to be singled out, in other words. So I just kept my mouth shut. And then the other NCOs, the other squad leaders, were only one of them was like real close to me. Like, I could say I could trust him with anything. And then I told him, because he would usually come and punch me in the chest, just joking around, like a what's up kind of. And I heard, I'm like, ah, and he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing, man. So this went on until one day I just was running, and there was blood and sweat going down my shirt. And he's like, what the hell happened? I'm like, can I talk to you? And I told him, hey, I don't think I'm a wuss. Like, don't. But I did this. I try to I hurt myself. And he tells me, like, what the hell, Blanco? Like, come on, man. Like, you all right? Like, it's no shame. And like, he's one of the good guys. He's one of like the guys that everybody looks up to, kind of like one of the tough guys, like one of the like soldiers, like. And I would never think that he would be like, hey, go get help, he tells me. And then the first thing that starts going through my head, like, man, I'm not gonna, come on, I don't want to be labeled. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to, because it's just the way the culture we had. And then he told me that, and he's like, dude, like, please, like, go get help, man. You're like my brother to me, so. Then I went home and I thought about it. Then I told my wife, and she's like, yeah, I'm leaving you if you don't. And I just was like, well, I thought, like, go ahead and leave me, like, I'm not gonna go. But then I realized, like, what the things that I put her through, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get help. And I did. And it took me a while. Took me a while to get over that, and it still bothers me, but at least I'm alive, like. I'm pretty sure if I wouldn't have gotten help, there was gonna be another night that I would just go and do the same thing again. And who knows, maybe, I don't know. Maybe if I wouldn't have gotten help, I would have, like I said, been in that situation again. And that's one thing I don't know. I just stopped being selfish pretty much. I just thought about my family and that we have the resources to go and kind of get better, like. So yeah, I went to get help and started talking there at the Embedded Behavioral Health in 1-1. It just started from there. Went to therapy, started talking to people, started seeing other guys that were there from the same, I started socializing with guys that have done or gone through the same things I have, and I started letting things out and talking to other guys. And then from there I got sent to the Word Resiliency Center. And after that, just going there is just even more intense. Like, you just talk about it to detail with other guys, and it feels good to get rid of that feeling that you're not the only one going through some stuff, and it's never too late to go and talk to somebody. Like, that's what I learned, and now I think I'm doing a lot better. I'm not completely. I'm pretty sure I'll never be completely okay with what I've done and stuff like that, but at least now I can say that I can be like, okay, I can go on, and that things will get better eventually. I think you have to hit rock bottom, and then I think once you hit rock bottom, if you choose life after that, it's a lot easier because you realize you have a second chance, like. To defeat the stigma, I think we should do what as leaders we're supposed to do: take care of our guys instead of taking care of them from physical, mental to anything. They need something. If they need help, we have to help. We have to help them. If we help them find a home, or we help them with bills, or we help them with AER, stuff like that. Why don't we just help them by saying, "Hey, go get help," and instead of having that stigma. Because I went through it, and I'm pretty sure, like most of my other NCOs, they spread the word about going to get help instead of like hammering. But I would say just being open-minded and having the guys go get help would be defeating the stigma. That's what I would say.
All right, kids, we're back. As you can see, war is not, it's not healthy for anybody. It's not healthy for our guys and girls, and it's just not, and it's not healthy for whoever we're fighting with. Who are we fighting now? I have no idea. Or rather, I have some idea, but I don't know how many different countries that were fighting. Here was a man who was being very honest about what he's going through, and still, even though he's being interviewed, still he keeps he keeps some of that trapped in his brain and in his mind, because he doesn't want to have to deal with that anymore, you know. So anyway, I hope that man is still, you know, or is doing better, and I hope that he got help, and I hope that that everything is working out for him. We do have some numbers that you can call if you're having problems dealing with post-traumatic stress syndrome. It's 1-800-273-TALK, and that's 1-800-273-8255. That's one of the numbers that we have for you. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to put up any more numbers for you, but that's one of the numbers that you can call and talk to them. And there's people that will listen to you. There's people there that have been through the same thing that you're going through, and they're there to help. And there's no charge. So if you need help, if you're having problems, please don't hesitate to give them a call. It won't cost you anything. And hopefully they'll be able to help you. So I have another film that I want to show you. We don't have a lot of time today, and I'm sorry that we're not able to take calls tonight because I wanted to try to get as much as I could of this information to you guys so that you understand a little bit about what's going on, you know. Usually on this show, we try to just have fun and have a good time, you know, but there's a lot of people that are dealing with this. Our show is watched all over the world. This show is watched all over the world, everywhere from Taiwan to Greece. We get emails, we get letters from people all over the world that watch the show. So, and it's not just the USA, you know, who is at war. So maybe we just need to kind of, what happened to sitting down and talking, you know? Do some arm wrestling or something. I don't know. There's got to be a better way, you know? What's that old song? Well, all we are saying is give peace a chance. So we're going to go to this next clip that I want you to see. And this is about a young man that had some problems that he couldn't deal with. So he ended up dealing with them the only way that he felt he knew how. So, Tyrone, can we go ahead and roll that clip?
The website Gawker has published the suicide note of an Iraq War veteran who says he took his own life because the trauma of war left him in constant mental and physical agony. Daniel Summers had been diagnosed with traumatic brain injury, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other conditions related to the war. He ran hundreds of combat missions as a machine gunner and carried out interrogations as part of an intelligence team in Baghdad. Later, he worked with JSOC, the Joint Special Operations Command, as a senior analyst in Mosul. In a letter first quoted by the Phoenix New Times and written to his family before he killed himself just over 2 weeks ago, Daniel Summers wrote, quote, "During my first deployment, I was made to participate in things the enormity of which is hard to describe. War crimes, crimes against humanity. Though I did not participate willingly and made what I thought was my best effort to stop these events, there are some things that a person simply cannot come back from. I take some pride in that, actually, as to move on in life after being part of such a thing would be the mark of a sociopath in my mind. These things go far beyond what most are even aware of. To force me to do these things and then participate in the ensuing cover-up is more than any government has the right to demand. Then the same government has turned around and abandoned me, he wrote. He went on to say, any blame rests with them. Daniel Summers killed himself on June 10th. He was 30 years old.
Hi, kids. We're back. I don't have a whole lot of time. I have about 2.5 to 3 minutes, so I'm going to try to read this this note that Summers wrote. Daniel, the guy that you just read. This is his note before he committed suicide. The simple truth is this. During my first deployment, I was made to participate in things the enormity of which is hard to describe. War crimes, crimes against humanity. Though I did not participate willingly and made what I thought was my best effort to stop these events. These are some of the things that a person simply cannot come back from. To force me to do these things and then participate in the ensuing cover-up is more than any government has the right to demand. Then the same government has turned around and abandoned me. It is no wonder then that the latest figures show 22 veterans killing themselves each day. That is more veterans than children killed at Sandy Hook every single day. And for what? Religious lunacy? Cheney's ever-growing fortune? And that of his corporate friends? Is this what we destroy lives for? The fact is that any kind of ordinary life is an insult to those who died at my hand. How can I possibly go around like everyone else while the widows and orphans I created continue to struggle? If they could see me sitting here in suburbia in my comfortable home working on some music project, that they would be outraged, and rightfully so. Now I am free. I feel no more pain. I have no more nightmares or flashbacks or hallucinations. I am no longer constantly depressed or afraid or worried. His last 3 words, I am free. Daniel Summers. Daniel took his life on January 10th, 2013. He died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head at the age of 30. He was from Phoenix, Arizona. You know, it's just whatever happened to sitting down around the kitchen table and working things out? Why do we have to hurt each other? That's not what God wants. The one you call God, that's not what he wants. There's plenty of land, there's plenty of food for everybody. Good night, kids. Think about it. So that's it. That's going to be our show for tonight. I'm pretty much done. So, good night.
I hope, what do you know? The Big Daddy G Show. The Big Daddy G Show. Can we all just get up on the Big Daddy G Show? Yeah, man. Why clean your room when you can do some shrooms? The Big Daddy G Show. I hope, what do you know? The Big Daddy G Show. The Big Daddy G Show.